Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I'm going to start in about 5 minutes. See if anyone comes, apart from whoever's here. I can see one person. All right. Let me have a look at some things as well while I'm here. Ooh, look at that. Looks good. That looks good. Look at that V shape. That's nice. Slurf is looking good. TRVL. Oh, look at this. Buy. Lots of buying. That's good. I like to see that. Look at some other things. What's that? What's that? Oh, look at that. Nice. Perfect. Take the liquidity and go up. That's what you want to see. Look at that. Holding support. This looks good. Gary looks shit. Of course, I knew it. It's obvious. Atom. Interesting. Ooh, look at that. You lost that, huh? You need to reclaim that. It's a shame. Oh, good quacks. That long was good, huh? All the way up to the... Yikes. Couldn't hold her. That's why you have invalidations. If you're invalidated, you're out. Price is going down. Oh, look at that. That's nice. Sometimes, you know, these levels work. Ooh, just almost. Almost. Okay, this is interesting. We're in the buy zone. This is a good place to buy now. Veracity. I'll have to have a look at that. Eesh. Well, that trade plan would have worked. See, bounce. See that? Bounce. Interesting. Fetch looks strong. Oh, the Dotto's lost its major support. Invalidated. See that? You have an invalidation. You just have to just allow it to fall. I'm quite bullish on this, but it's not looking good at the moment. All right, let me do this. Quick batch. V-chain. Good evening, good morning, Bashkar Kanam. Welcome. You're from India, huh? Which part of India? I've been to India a long time ago. I went to went to Delhi and to the Taj Mahal, and I went to Amritsar to see the Golden Temple. I went to the Golden Temple in Punjab a long time ago. Andhra Pradesh. Don't know where that is. Let's have a look at Bitcoin. I think the stream is okay. Looks good. So, you're welcome. Yeah, me too. Happy to meet you. So yesterday I was interested in some trades, and I'm going to have a look at my ideas from yesterday. First things first, let's have a look at the daily candle. It's always good to look at the daily candle when you have a new candle print and try and find out what that candle means, the meaning of candles, and candles have meanings. So we had 2 bearish days, increasing volume, and then we have a green doji. Okay. The good thing about this green doji is that we did take the liquidity from the lows. If you see on the index, it doesn't show it. You see how on the index, you're not seeing the liquidity taken from the lows here. But on the Bybit inverse perpetuals, which is the one that I think most people, if they're interested in accuracy, they should be using. This one, BTC USD perpetual contract from Bybit. That's probably the most accurate one. Hi, Sushan. Yeah, Atom was a good one. Huh? I saw that. We'll have a look at Atom together. But I saw that it bounced. Yeah. I've got a friend who traded who took it long this morning as well. He sent me a message. Interesting that you should say that. So when you're looking at the Bybit inverse perpetuals, you'll see that we took the liquidity from the previous candle low. You see that? And then we closed green. Okay, so there's a little bit of a clue there as to the weakness of the downward move. Okay, because you would expect, and it's about expectation, when you're taking the liquidity, you're stopping people out. Like if people are long, when you look at the range, yeah, when you're looking at the range right here, when the price goes underneath these wicks, what's happening? Anyone who's long is being invalidated, so they get stopped out. So they're selling. You get sell pressure at the lows. When the price comes down, you get sell pressure, market selling pressure. So when you get the price go up and reverse after you get this sell pressure, that's an indication. It means that the sellers have lost their strength, or they're no longer strong, or there's not enough, there's too many buyers at this level to push the price right back up. Now, the buyers don't have to be new buyers. I'm not saying you've got new entrants to the market. It could just be shorts buying at market to closing their shorts. They're buyers too. You see, people who are taking shorts have to buy. So people who are short are buyers too. It's just about where. So it just tells you that the balance is changing. It's turning. There's a change to the balance. So when you have this kind of bearish price action, this is really bearish. Yeah, this is quite bearish. And then when you're going down, taking the liquidity, stopping out anyone who's bullish, and then you're still back up here in the range, you know, that's actually quite bullish. That's not bearish at all. Yeah, or it's a lack of bearishness. Maybe not bullish yet, but a lack of bearishness. Okay, so when you're looking at different exchanges, you may not see that information. Like when you look at, if you're looking at the index, yeah, when you look at the daily chart on the index, you're not seeing the swing failure of the previous day low. Let me have a look at Binance. Binance, you see that? So Binance and Bybit are the main ones as far as I'm concerned. Binance and Bybit are telling you the same information. And then the other thing I was paying attention to, I don't know if anyone was, there is some kind of horizontal line here. This is a daily time frame. You see that there is a little bit of an SR flip going on here. Okay, so effectively the price stopped into support. This is just an imaginary line. There's no other line here. It's just a line where you can clearly see that the candles are stopping and starting around on the daily time, and they're stopping and starting around this level. Yeah, you can see that. You can see where the price stopped. You can see where the price held. So effectively, this is an SR flip, and we're back into support. And it's holding. That's a hold. One doji, one green doji is a hold. Now this candle is a bullish, should be a bullish candle. It's the bull's attempt to push the price up. We have to see how the bulls perform. So this candle is going to be very important to determine whether we continue to go back down or whether we're about to go back up. Okay, this candle now. All right. So if I go back to a lower time frame, have a look at the range. I'll redo the volume range first. Exactly. So Sushant is saying that it held at the point of control. Exactly correct. I was looking at that too. We'll pull it up anyway. And it's good that you're seeing that for yourself, because that will give you the confidence to trade. When you see that, when it was one thing me telling you, okay, but when you see it for yourself, that's something else. And so I think the point of control that you're referring to is the local range. Okay, so if I do a fixed range here from this candle that comes into the range to the current price action, you can't see it on the 15-minute time frame, but you'll see that actually it was the value area low that was holding. On this range, you see that? And bounce. You had a little bit of a swing failure of these lows here. You had a nice V shape bounce. That's quite strong, huh? That's pretty strong price action. That's kind of what you want to see. As soon as the price got back above the point of control, I took a long. Okay, that was my, I wanted to make sure that the point of control wasn't acting as resistance, and I'm in a long right now. And so when I go back to my previous, yes, let me just do this volume first. Let me just see that there's no changes in the volume. Okay, I just want to because I know we're approaching the POC right now, and I just want to make sure that there's no changes. Hold on. Okay, no real changes. The value area low is slightly higher. That's about right. All right, we can delete that now. All right. So the trade that I had planned from yesterday. Was this one. Back into the golden pocket. You see that? I had that in my mind. I didn't take it as a swing failure happened. I waited for the price to get back above this pivot, which I had in mind. Okay, so this morning I risked I came in at 117, so I came in a little bit higher. When I saw a bit of strength, I came in, okay, about here, and then I just risked 1% in that trade. And the good thing about small invalidation, even though I've got this invalidation here, basically the good thing is that actually my invalidation is smaller now. I don't need to put it at the lows, because now I'm starting to see strength. And now that we've come above this kind of level, I'm not really expecting the price to do that. If it does, I'm stopped out and I lose my 1%. That's fine. And then the other thing that I was looking at yesterday, hold on. So there's a few interesting things. Okay. So we have okay. So this short that I had planned yesterday was front run. I don't know if people are familiar with front running, but basically that short was valid. It's just that it was so many people wanted to short it that the price couldn't actually get to my level of interest. It was front run. Yeah, so you see how the price gets to here, and it's not far from my level of interest. So it was only about 0.5% away, And effectively what that meant was that there was a lot of people shorting into that level. It was so strong that it wasn't even possible to swing failure. I was looking for the swing failure, it didn't even happen. Okay, so it was a good trade. It was just that we have to bear this in mind. Sometimes these levels are front run, and potentially what I should have done is I should have started scaling in, because there was so much confluence here for a short. Okay, and when it came up, it just immediately rejected. So you could argue that that was quite a good plan. It was just probably I needed an earlier entry, and I needed to scale in. Okay, so that was quite interesting. I can remove this trend line now, and I can probably, let me move this pitchfork now as well, because I like that. So these are still relevant, these fibs, so I'll keep them, and I'll just delete that. We're going to step away. We still have an SFP, so I'll keep that. Get rid of this. We can get rid of this long idea. And get rid of this idea now. Okay. So what you can see now, which is quite interesting, is that this trend line has been front run and we're back into it. So this whole price action here was a front run, and now we're back into the trend line for the fourth time. You see that? That's quite interesting. Tushan saying it feels really bad when the price almost touches your target range and then moves away. Yeah. No, you don't feel bad. It just gives you an indication of, I mean, you don't take the trade, or you have to take the trade later. If I really wanted to take the trade, I could have, because the price, as it comes down, it comes right back into the golden pocket. Do you see that? So I still had the opportunity to take the trade, but it would have been this instead. Okay, it would have been that kind of trade instead. Into the golden pocket, reaction, and then it's not a bad trade, because even though the price held at the lows here, the price could have gone down. So it's not a bad trade to take. It's just that you do have to take profit just in case the price reverses, and you can't expect the price to expand just because you think you got a good entry. Fundamentally, what happened yesterday was that area of interest was front run. It came back to test the golden pocket on the local pullback, and it continued. And when you yeah, you see that? And now we've come into the golden pocket again from this pivot to this low. But the interesting thing for me is that we're kind of, this trend line is no longer offering resistance. Okay, you see how the price action now has gone through it with volume, increasing volume. We're back above that trend line. That's good to see. So we don't have this problem with this trend line now. The good thing is that we're not here anymore. We're not in this area of confluence. So the timings are really important. And then the other thing I was like interested in seeing yesterday when this was forming was, it's hard to see, but there is some sort of, there is a megaphone pattern forming here as well. Like that. There's a little bit of a megaphone here. And so this morning also, when I saw that the price bounced into this area, which was also the golden pocket from this pivot to this top, you see that bounced into the golden pocket, kind of confirming the bottom end of the megaphone. So I'm actually quite interested to see how far we get up now. We have this area of interest here, which is still the point of control, and if we go up, do we get up and start flipping? Do we flip that top trend line into support? Yeah, I think now as the price starts to go up, people are going to start getting bullish, and we just have to see how far. You have to see how much resistance there is here. Okay, it's not as strong as here. Here was a lot stronger just because we hadn't broken this outer trend line yet, and also it was coming into the bottom of this kind of pitchfork that I had, so there was a lot of confluence at that point. This is going to be slightly different, and so potentially what could happen, there probably will be a reaction off the point of control. There's a good place to take profit if you're in a long, and then if we kind of get above it, I think then we'll go up, honestly, because I think the thing is, once you come above, you're going to fill this gap, and you have single prints that will fill if you get acceptance into the single print. No arbitrary trend line or pitchfork is going to hold the price once you are into filling a volume gap. The volume gap will fill once you get acceptance into the gap. So I'm not expecting these arbitrary 50% lines or these kind of pitchfork lines to hold. If we do get back into the single prints, we'll go up. That will still be a good area to short, and maybe that here will be coming back to find support. So this is kind of what I'm thinking for today, actually. Let's see how this plays out. We could get a massive rejection from the point of control. That's always possible. But I have this idea of this megaphone down here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of draw it out a bit better. Let me clean my chart up a little. It's a bit messy. So which one is that one? Get rid of that. Get rid of that. That's that lower trend line. That's fine. And keep that. Keep that. So we still have this right. Let me just, on this one, I'll just keep the golden pocket, because that's only really interested in the golden pocket. Let's see what that one is. Let me hide that one. Single prints, point of control, that's fine. And then you have this trend line which we're breaking out from now, which is good to see. Let me see this current range again. You have to get back above that volume area. So what I want to see is, I want to see us hit the point of control, come back to back test the volume area, and hold the value area high as support. That's what I want to see. I don't want us to see us to go into that point of control and come back into this volume area. That would just, to me, that would just say we're still range bound at the lows. Okay. Definitely be looking to take profit at the point of control, just in case we get this. Okay. We could still be range locked in this range to head back to the low, you know, because this could still happen. Just because the price is going up doesn't mean it's going to go up. So when you get into areas of resistance, definitely look to take profit if you're in profit, because the price could reverse. Okay, especially if we can't flip this value area high into support. Okay, so there is also a potential short, even though it's not going to be as necessarily as powerful as this one. You're still coming into the point of control, you're still coming into a single print, and you have an easy entry. That will be a swing failure pattern of that previous high. Just bear in mind that you could find support slightly lower down on the value area high. If you do find support, then you'll just have to cut that short at break even or at a very small profit. If you see that you come back down here and you're finding support, but the price could go down all the way back down to the bottom of the range. If we're still range bound, that becomes a deviation from the range. You'll just basically means there's not enough liquidity to push the price up, and it will just come back down looking for liquidity. Now, it doesn't have to come back down to the bottom of the range. It could always just come back down. If we lose the value area high, it could always come back down just to the point of control, you know, for one more time, you know, just to pick up more liquidity. It could always do that. You know, it's always, the price is always trying to do something like that. If it was to do that, that would be a really good area to long, because you'll be coming into the golden pocket point of control and back testing this trend line again. Okay, so potentially you've got like a long there if that was to happen. If this was to happen, you've got a short. If you can get a swing failure off this pivot here, you can do a swing failure. You just got to be careful that we don't find support into the value area high. If you see that there's support forming on the value area high, then you just have to take a really cut at break even, really, because you might not get a good entry, you know. And these are the two potential trades right now that I can see. I'm in a long already. Okay, I've got so I am actually targeting the point of control, so I don't need to do a long trade plan for where I am now. And that was from yesterday's planned longs. I was looking to long. I was just looking for an entry with an invalidation, and this was it. This whole price action was it for me. That was enough to confirm entry into this price movement. And then the megaphone idea, let me just kind of flatten it out again. So there to there. There to there. And something like that. So we go up to the top. Let's see. Probably not. I'm not fond of this now that I've just drawn out, because we'd have to get there quite fast. Like, we'd have to go up now to get there, because really you just want to go up, flip that top bit into support for continuation, because it's quite a bullish pattern if that was to form. If it takes longer and you're finding yourself coming into the top where you've got other confluence, then actually it's not so great. Okay, so timing is really important. So let's just see what happens. It doesn't look like we're going impulsing up right now. We're kind of slowly but surely kind of heading in an upward direction. Let's see what happens. Did I move my stop loss? No, I haven't moved it yet. Not to break even. I could move it to break even, but I don't, you know, like I don't like to really mess around with my stop losses because the price can always come down, stop you out and go up. You know, like price loves to do that. If I was to set it at break even, there's still not enough distance to do that for my liking. Usually what I'll do is I'll take profit, then I'll set it to stop. So I'm still risking a percentage. I'm not in a rush to move it to break even. Because often if you do that, you'll get stopped out and you're still correct. More so than not. So I'd rather just risk 1% and see what happens, you know. And obviously if we start losing this trend line and losing these lows here, then I'll be a little, you know, like then I'll probably take a much I'll probably take a much smaller loss. I won't let it come down to my stop loss because that's not the kind of price action I'll be looking for. We just have to see what happens. Okay, like I like to give trades a little bit of time and a little bit of space, and at no point in time, like my stop loss is underneath the point of control, right? So I don't expect that. So even worst case scenario, if it comes down, I will expect it to bounce, and then I have to see what happens. But I'm not risking more than 1%. I don't do that. I'm just checking now. Let me just see my stop loss. So I'm already up 1/3%, which isn't my target, and I'm my stop loss is, let me check. I'm risking just just over 1%, 1.1%. And basically what I really am aiming for is the point of control. And so we just have to see what happens. All right, give it a bit of time. We could easily reject off this trend line now. I'm also considering that. Okay, but it doesn't look like we're looking to reject right now because we've hit it on this hourly time frame. You can see that we've hit the trend line once, twice, and now we've pushed through. It looks like we're trying, it looks like we want to get through it. You see the volume is quite nice. It's not, we haven't got decreasing volume. You know, the volume is quite steady. And it doesn't look too bad right now. Let me have a look at the order flow on Exo charts. Good morning, Ali Hash. Slurf, yes. I was looking at Slurf. Slurf looks good, even though it's gone down. So this is the order flow. If anyone's not familiar with this, you can see all the market orders. You can't see that on the charts, but on this you can. Basically, you can see all of where people are market buying and selling. And then you can also use the open interest data and the CVD data and then the footprint data to determine whether it was longs closing or it was new longs opening, right? So I'll give you an example. Do you see how this OI, this open interest, goes down by minus 6.8 million? And you see how the price goes up like that? That is a short closing. Yeah. So you can see here a short closing. Good. When you start seeing shorts closing, that's a good sign for longing. Yeah. If shorts are closing, it means shorts aren't expecting the price to go down anymore. Yeah. And also something that you can see very clearly, I don't know if you can see it. You see from this swing failure here, where the price went down and came back above. Can you see how the OI is gradually increasing? And you see how the price is increasing? That means that longs are opening. These are brand new longs using leverage to open positions. That's what you want to see. You want to see longs opening. It means now that you're longing, you're on the right side of the market because you're longing with everyone else. Okay, that's kind of what you want to see. in the previous price action, we didn't really see that. You see how the OI was dropping. We didn't really see longs opening. This is the first time now we're starting to see a steady increase in longs with an increase in price. Yeah. So it's kind of what you want to see. I'm not seeing any kind of oh yeah, there was. You see, there are bullish divergences on a slightly wider scale. I'll show you. You see how here we have this this low, this pivot that's put in. And if you look at this CVD line, so the CVD represents delta. Delta is market orders, so people buying and selling at market. When the delta line goes down, it's market selling. When the delta line goes up, it's market buying. So as you can see here, we've put in a pivot. And since that point to this pivot here, you can see how it's a higher low on the price. But on the CVD, you can see it's a lower low on the CVD. So from this point to this point, you had more market selling. And yet the price is higher. It's making a higher low. So that's called CVD, bullish CVD divergence. Okay. So you can see that the market selling is being absorbed, and most probably it's being absorbed by limit longs absorbing the market selling. Okay, eventually what happens is you have an exhaustion of selling, and then as people start longing, which is happening now, you're starting to get the price move up. Okay, and then what happens is that shorts start to close, and so you see how the price pushed up here. That's a short closing. Let me see. OI going down, price going up, shorts are closing. Let me put this one in. This tells you the dominant size. These are that's a short entering here. Okay, but then their shorts have to close because they get pushed out, and so they end up closing a market, which pushes the price up. So you had some people shorting as the price came up, but actually they closed and the price is pushed up. Okay, so we have and we haven't really squeezed the shorts yet. I think once we get back up above this range, above these highs, you're going to suddenly see a lot of shorts close, and the shorts that are going to be closing are the shorts from higher up. Yeah, so the shorts, you've got people in the shorts from higher up, they're holding on, they're looking at this range and they're still in good profit. But if they start seeing strength in an upward direction, they'll start closing their shorts at market, and then that's when you're going to get the price come up really fast. Okay, so we're not there yet, but what we really have to do is we have to flip this previous stay high up here. You see this blue line, and actually that corresponds with the previous month point of control. We really have to flip that, and that's probably the point of control of this overall range. We have to flip that into support. Once you flip that into support, what's going to happen is you're going to fill this gap, this big gap, really quickly. Yeah, price will go up really fast. And then if that was to happen, you definitely will take profit at the highs. You have to, because I would be expecting a bounce up here to go down. Okay, so that's just something to bear in mind. We're not there yet, but I mean the price action is not looking terrible for the bulls. You know, let's just see how this plays out. Okay, the good thing about Bitcoin behaving this way, not showing weakness but kind of not going anywhere, is that it gives the altcoins an opportunity to misbehave. Or, you know, it's like when Bitcoin is kind of going nowhere, it's not going down, it's not going up, it's kind of range bound, but it is showing a little bit of strength because it's not going down anymore. Then what happens is altcoins come out. Okay, now obviously it would be better if we were above the previous all-time high and this was happening, but right now it looks like altcoins will probably come out to play. Let's just have a look. Okay. Any questions on Bitcoin? The other thing that we have to bear in mind is that we have the weekly candle that's going to close relatively soon. I wouldn't be surprised if we close higher than the previous week open. I wouldn't be surprised if we close much higher, actually. We have to see how the week plays out, but I wouldn't be surprised if we just close back in the range of this weekly range. And if the weekly candle, and we have to see how strong the close is, but we are in the Bitcoin halving month. I mean, I don't know why people are bearish. I'm like so bullish on and basically every dip in the midterm future is a buying opportunity. That's how you have to look at it. I'm not expecting crazy down moves at the moment. Maybe when we get into price discovery, I will be a bit more kind of hesitant at taking long so quickly. But right now, because we're still in historic price action, you know, and we're still range bound, you know, when the price comes into the value area low, you're not looking for it to go lower. You're looking to long that. Okay. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. I think Slurf is showing a little bit of strength too now. Fair enough. It went down. And I think the problem with Slurf is that it's following Bitcoin. Okay. You have to bear that in mind. One day Slurf is going to be really powerful because Bitcoin is powerful. So the good thing about yesterday's price action is we haven't yet made an all-time low. We got really close, but we haven't done it yet. And we're still finding resistance on this previous pivot. So there. Now someone sold a large amount yesterday. You see that? That's a big sell. And unfortunately, I haven't got the market data to see if that was what kind of sell that was. Well, this is perpetual contracts, but you know, other markets will impact the price here. But there's quite high volume on this exchange, on this sell. So you'd expect this to be a short, right? 58 million. That's quite high volume. And I think what the bulls want to do right now is to close the price above this candle. For me, that's going to be a massive sign of strength if that was to happen. So let me just kind of zoom out a bit. Let me just update my let me just get rid of these brush strokes now. We'll keep that one. Let me update the volume first. Oh, it was Ali Hash saying that was a big sell on Radium because the dev tweeted he was launching a new token as a joke. People got scared for a few minutes. I bought that. Well done. So you see the value area lows move down a little bit. That's what we want to see. We want to see the value area low move down. Okay. Point of control is where it is. And now the value area high is slightly higher. We're putting a lot of volume here. So I wouldn't be surprised, and there's a lot of volume here. I wouldn't be surprised if the value area moves down in the next week or so, few days. I wouldn't be surprised, because look, you can see that we're putting in a lot of volume in these lows here. Okay, eventually what you'll have is you have more volume in the lows here. The value area will shift down, and then maybe if we can get more volume than the point of control, you'll end up with a point of control in the lows. Okay, the minute that happens, that's ultra bullish. Yeah, the minute you see that, that's why I keep a track of it, because once you see that, that's going to give me confidence to start leveraging, because right now I'm not leveraged, I'm just in spot. Okay, because I'm waiting for like a real sign of strength. Okay, and we're not there yet. We're still trying to put volume in outside of the value area, and what we want to do is two things. One, we want to hold the all-time low. We don't want to make an all-time low. It hasn't happened yet. Okay, things could change if we make an all-time low, but not necessarily in the short term, in the longer term, because if you put in an all-time low, then you have to put in an all-time high, then you have to make a higher low, and you know, like, it's a process. If we hold the low here, then the next time we make an all-time high, we're into bullish market structure, because we've held a higher low and now we're making higher highs. Okay, so as long as we can hold the higher low here, which we are, as long as we can put in volume here, which we are, and as long as we can either get back into the value area low or shift the whole of the value area lower down with the point of control at the lows, then this is going to be a really amazing bullish setup for the upside. Okay, we're not there yet, so we, as you can see, we're finding resistance on this pivot here, and what we need now is to go up and flip it, and then what we need to do is we need to attack this trend line and see what happens. Okay, technically the trade, the bump and run is still in play, but you just have to wait for a breakout and some kind of back test into support. In my mind, breaking out above the high volume node and back into the high volume node would be the best place to long, and then you have your invalidation, which is the pivot that's just put in there. You could long here, but you're longing into resistance. That's the problem. Okay, so if you only spot this would be good, like a good spot purchase. This trade that I'm talking about is a little bit more of a leveraged idea, and then if that happens, the same target, you know, the top of this line. So I think this is largely to do with Bitcoin. I am waiting to see if the value area moves down, and I think just a little bit more volume here, we could do it. A little bit more. All right, that's my slurf update. I think if people are bullish, then this is a really good place to buy. Like, it's a fantastic place to buy. Okay, and if you're bearish, you would never short here, because you're literally shorting the lows of this overall range. Yeah, if you're bearish, you need to wait for the price to come back into some kind of SR flip for resistance. This is a resistance level here, but there's no great, it's not a great risk to reward return on this trade, unfortunately. Okay, so that's my slurf update. You're only on spot. Well, what you can do is, if we break this trend line, there's a really nice leverage play here, by the way, if you're interested. You know, and I mean, it depends, because it's not, it wouldn't be difficult if we hold a higher low here, even with a wide invalidation right to the all-time low. That's still quite, relatively speaking, that's still a small invalidation. Yeah, because we are at the lows, and we could potentially put in a higher low here, and we could potentially break this trend line for a bump and run to the highs. You make another all-time high, and that low is put in, you're not expecting that low to be taken out again until the end of the bull market. So there is a really nice leverage play here, and it doesn't have to be all the way down to there. It could just be there. And the upside on that leverage play is off the charts. If you think that this could potentially go up to, what is that now? 40 cents. Let's just say 100x to $40. There's a really great play here. It's a risk 1,000 and make $780,000 in this play. Yeah. If that was to happen. Just on that small invalidation. Okay. So is there something to bear in mind? That slurf is a good place to buy spot. But break this back test, you have a really nice bump and run play here. And let's get up back up to the value area high. And you never know. You never know what could happen. And I think that's partly to do with Bitcoin. Okay, that's slurf. Let's have a look at Atom. Sure, I've done Atom before. I don't know where my chart is though. Yeah, look, perpetuals and Binance. Just put it to the bottom. There it is. I'm just trying to remember what I was thinking when I did this. So in the previous bull market, we had the 5 wave up. Volume levels. Okay, we're back into, we lost this monthly level, but we're coming back. Retracement. Okay. So we lost this SR flip here. Came back to test it as resistance. And maybe the SR flip is this one here. Actually, look. So there's one lower down here. So effectively we come into this SR flip. I don't like that we haven't taken the liquidity from the previous lows. But it was a good place to buy because it's an SR flip lower down. You're only really trading it right up to this area here. Right now. You have to cross that 50% mark to get back above this kind of, you see we're kind of in this area now. In this area. Just check these volume levels. These that weekly is gone. We have a new one. Just a couple of weekly levels there. A little bit of resistance above us. And obviously we're in the current week. I'd be interested to see if we close above this weekly level here. And then you have one lower down here. So we're in a bit of an area of choppiness. Lots of levels. We're potentially coming back tests. Do you see this whole thing? This is a monthly area of interest. This this purple line. We have to see how the month ends, but we've broken it on the monthly time frame. You just want to hold it on the monthly time frame. So we're still in the month. It's hard to see. And we just have to wait for this to play out. We probably will hold that monthly level. And then when you zoom in a little bit, they're kind of following Bitcoin a little bit. It's a shame we can't get back to this lower trend line, huh? Hasn't really hit it though. I've just taken off these top lines. So I'm wondering if it's slightly different actually now. Let's see. Just hide it. Just have to do something. Let me see. Yeah, potentially. I don't like how it's not amazing. It's not an amazing channel. But, you know, it's close enough, I guess, there and there. That's fine. And then here it's like, it's close enough, but it's just not there. If that is a slightly steeper channel of these lows, I had it lower down before. And I was taking that from these highs there to there. But maybe this one is red one is better that I've just done. Maybe this red one is better. So if that's the case, then look, that's perfect. Look where you're buying. So you have a very easy invalidation now, really, because you don't want to now lose this current pivot that's been put in. Yeah, I think that's it. Like, you don't now want the price to go down because you have this like nice trend line. It's hit. This is the third hit, and you do have a little bit of an SR flip going on here. See that? And the last 12 hours, the last 12-hour candle did take the liquidity from the previous 12. It didn't take it down from this one, but it did take it from the previous candle, and now we're back at the high of the next 12-hour candle. On the daily time frame, we're pushing up. It's not looking bad. It's not a bad setup right now. So effectively, your setup is this now, because you don't want the lows to be taken now. Now that you've held a higher low, and that could be it. That could potentially be the lows put in. It's possible. All the way up to the value area high. You've got like these higher time frame levels in between, like these weekly levels. They will offer resistance, you know, like that's the thing. And this, we really need Bitcoin now to start going up, and then all of these altcoins are gonna really enjoy life. But you have this kind of strong area of interest here, which is what I wanted it to hold the support. But potentially these are higher level areas of interest, like weekly and monthly. When you look at the weekly and monthly time frame, it may hold support. Like just this could be the wick down, but it could hold support, because you have to see how the weekly candle closes. This is a weekly time frame level. You have to see how the weekly time frame closes. So yeah, it's not looking too bad, actually. Let me just try something on fib time. Hold on. We have these lines. Get rid of these. Okay. Look at this, it's interesting. We're coming into a pivot soon as well, potentially, from this previous wave. This whole thing's corrective. That was the bear market low. I think maybe the wave one started there, huh? They got the 4 green months. See that? 4 green months, and this is the wave 3. Similar to some other tokens. I'm thinking it's hard to, I'm not going to bother counting them precisely. I'm wondering if this was the wave 1 here. And then you had this correction. And that was your wave 3 there. So we could be in the wave 3. I'm not sure. How did it impulse before? Before it was very impulsive, you see. Like up, up, up. It was very impulsive before, and now it's not as impulsive. We could still be correcting. This maybe this isn't a wave yet. We haven't really impulsed. I don't know. That looks like a wave. I don't like any of that price action. It's hard to determine whether there was something going on there. Yesterday. You'll keep an eye on this because I can't tell. It's a little bit hard to tell where we are. But this is a good place to buy for sure, and you have an easy invalidation because you now that you've held a higher low, you're into this trend line, you're into this SR flip. You don't really want the price to go down now, okay? Then you just get invalidated. That's fine. Then this is not correct. But you have a very easy invalidation there, and you have quite a good ROI on this trade. It's a 1 to 16 up to the value area high. It'd be nice for that to impulse up to just get out of this area. This is potentially a 1, and this could be the end of the 2. I don't know if this is a 1, can't tell. And this is the 2, and this is just a 1. This is like a bigger, this could be like a bigger 3 that's forming. I don't know, okay? I can't tell yet. We have to see. We have to see how this one plays out a little bit. Potentially, yes. Potentially, yes. Yeah, I can see some kind of fib time alignment on some of these pivots. If that was the 1 to the 2. Potentially, we are in some kind of 2 correction on the wave 3. Okay. It's a quite deep correction for a 2. It just held a higher low, which is okay. Which is okay. It got all the way down to the 886. You see that down here? Very deep correction. So just based on this corrective move here, you would expect You can get back into resistance when you get back into this higher range here. Yeah. Used to a full fib pull, volume pull on that higher range. To see where the resistance is, probably here where the 1414 is. This value area low, the point of control of that previous range is quite close. So there's going to be resistance there for sure. And let me have a look if there's any higher levels. You've got a daily level there too, roughly about the same area. So I think you're going to have a little bit of a resistance zone here. Okay. So I've marked that off. Wait there a second. Let's just say the 2 is ending here, hypothetically. And this is the first one. Okay. So that would put your one, two. Yeah, that's a really good area. About $26. Push up to $26. I think that would work. I think that's the trade. You've got resistance coming in a little bit lower, potentially, at 21.22. But you see how this dropped really fast? Yeah, do you see how it dropped really quickly? I think eventually if we were to kind of push up, get above that high, I wouldn't be surprised if it goes up quite fast as well, back into this area here. So I'm thinking $26 is a good area to target. All right. That's Atom. I think you've got a good entry if you're in long. Look at that. Any questions on Atom? Let me have a look at Bitcoin. Okay, Bitcoin's showing a little bit of strength. I like to see that. Slurf is showing strength. Look at that. It's good to see. That's what we all want to see. We want to see a strong Slurf. Slurf to the moon. We'll get back above that. Pivot. We can long that. Have an easy invalidation. That. Almost the same as this one, really. So that's a perfectly viable trade. So TRVL. Look at this. And people see what I see, but on Max, look at all these buying tails. Buy, 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 buy. These are buys, huh? It looks like people are selling, but actually they're being bought back. So someone is buying back the sells. So people are selling and then people are buying back. But they're not pushing the price up. So they're just buying back into the range, back to the range, back to the range, yeah? At the lows, this is bullish to see this kind of price action at the lows. When I say lows, I mean the lows of this overall range, okay? So what is the overall range? Well, let's just say this is the range here. Yeah, there's a little bit of a range going on here. This is quite, at the lows, having these tails, buying tails is quite bullish. Because even though people have been selling, the price is being brought back up. On MEX for sure. Okay. It's kind of what you want to see at the lows. You want to see buying. There's lots of buying happening here, right? And enough buying is happening. It's like someone is scaling in without trying to move the price, and over a period of time they can accumulate a large position. That's what's happening right now on MEX. So maybe someone took profit at the highs. They don't want to just pump the price. They're just kind of scaling in on a regular basis, and that's pretty good to see. It's good to see that, you know, it's good to see that someone is doing that. If I update the volume, I'm going to update the volume on all the exchanges now, just to see if there's any changes. We are putting a little bit of volume in this current area of interest, not crazy, but a little bit. Do I have a volume levels? Yeah, I do. Bring that up. So in the overall change, maybe the value area high is slightly higher now. Point of control. Why did I do that? No real change on MEX. Just a little bit of buying. And actually what you can see on MEX is you can see that this previous wick low, the liquidity was taken, then the liquidity was taken again. Okay, and now we're still back, we're still trading back up into this, above this low. So we are holding support. It looks like we're holding support. I think this has got something to do with Bitcoin. Okay, let me just have a look at the other exchanges quickly to see if I see anything else that's interesting. Firstly, let me just update the volume as well. Anyways. Point of control. Value area high. Gate. You know, Gate has a slightly wider value area simply because in this area here there was a lot of buying here. Okay, so Gate is slightly different to the other exchanges, but for all intents and purposes no real change. We are at quite a nice volume area here. Okay, which is good. I don't mind that the Gate volume area is wider. I don't mind that at all. It just means in the future when we flip the value area into support, we'll have a higher level of support on Gate. That's what it means. There's a buy there. Look, that's a big buy there. You see increase. You see these green candles. The big ones are the buys, you know. So that's kind of what you want to see. Not as many buying tails here as on MEX. There is one here, here. There's a few buying tails, not as many as MEX. On MEX, someone is just market buying small amounts. That's obvious to see. Let me have a look at KuCoin. I'll do exactly the same thing. Until we actually in the future have a truly dominant exchange, I'm gonna, at the moment there's a little bit of a balance between the exchanges, so that's why I'm doing it volume area pools on all the exchanges to see what's happening and just update them. In the future there's going to be like, it's probably in the future probably we buy like some kind of derivatives or Binance. You see how here the volume area, the value area high has moved up a little bit. Okay, so we are slightly inside the value area. It was lower down before, and we were holding the previous value area, and the value area has moved up a little bit. I don't have a problem with that yet, as long as we move up. Yeah, I'd have a problem with that if the price started to move down. I don't mind that the volume area moves up with the price. I think that's just kind of good to see, because it just means that there's volume being put in higher up. And actually, in the future, what you want to see as the price, let's say, for example, the price does go up and we range here, you want to see volume put up here. You want to see that. You want to see people buying and selling, and for the price to hold higher levels. You want to see that kind of price action. Yeah, you don't want to see low volume rises. You want to see increasing prices with increasing volume, and that will move the value area with the price. That's bullish. That's bullish for that to happen. So we're just going to keep a track of that. Yeah, I can't see the same behavior here as on MEX. There's a big buy here, this big green candle here. That's really the only observable point here. Nothing else. And then have a look at Bybit. Yeah, Bybit, the value is trading slightly higher. But there's a little arbitrage potential there between MEX and Bybit. It's not crazy, but there is a possibility. Let's do the same thing with this. Okay, so actually we are, of all of them, Bybit is actually back in the value area. Where's my volume levels? Have I not got them? I'll quickly do them now. I should have had them, but I don't. Come on, come on. It's good to keep them and then just have a record of changes. Okay. What you notice on Bybit is that there's no volume in these higher ranges. So it's, as far as volume is concerned, it's like price discovery. There's just no volume. So the price can, in the future, it can move up quite fast if and when we get above this value area and flip it into support. You see right now on we basically need to get back above 9 cents and flip that back into support. We've had 3 attempts. 1, 2, 3. I think the 4th time we should be able to do it. That's what I think. Okay. And it's not looking terrible, is it? It's not looking bad. This whole consolidation period, it's quite a flat correction, even though it's pulled back 30 or so %. This whole thing is quite flat, and you can see how the volume is kind of dropping off. The price is gently easing off. And the other thing you can probably see, maybe on a higher time frame, is a slight bullish divergences. It's not easy to see, but there it does exist. Actually it's hidden. You see how this low is kind of flat, and you see how this low from the same pivot is going down, slightly bullish. Did we make a lower low here? We did, which is not what you want to see. You want to see a higher low, but there is absorption happening here. It's just not easy to see. Okay, it would be a lot more bullish. It would be a lot more bullish if in the MACD you had the MACD go underneath this pivot and the price stayed higher. But we're not there yet. Okay. Something that everyone should be like really paying attention to is that on Twitter, I'll show you. It's really interesting. I think people need to really pay attention to what's happening. Let me show you. Read this. I read this yesterday, and it's quite interesting. Read this. Rod Lunkos.space asks, is there a website where I could check availability? I'm going to Florianopolis, Brazil tomorrow and looking for a place to stay. And read what Cynthia is the CEO of Dtravel and co-founder and an Airbnb superhost. She's like fully equipped to do this. And look what she says. We're launching this in the next 2 weeks. That's like that's a signal right there, no? We're launching this in the next 2 weeks. I don't know why people wouldn't be like crazy bullish on what's about to be launched. Yeah. And then when I look at the price of TRVL, and just to think now how the price is and where the price is, it's like a really good place to buy. It really is. Look, you had a pullback, you have a V shape, you have a pullback, the price has slowed down, the selling has kind of slowed down. It's a good place. I think it's a good place to buy. And we're still, the weekly time frame candle hasn't finished yet, but look, let's see where the week ends. But it's a really good place. Like, we've had 4 weeks in this price range here, basically 4 weeks here. It's like a flat correction, what I'm seeing. And you know, this red volume is much less than the green volume. So the green volume hasn't exited, the green volume is still holding, they're still in, they're just waiting. And this is a really good place to buy underneath my key level of SR, which is 9 cents. So you're still buying it underneath 9 cents. I think that's quite good. And MEX obviously has the best price right now, if anyone's interested, 778, whereas on Bybit it's 7906. Okay, that's TRVL, I think, unless there's any questions. Oh, look at that. Look at Byte. We've clearly broken out from that line now. We almost lost it and now we're back above it. So that's quite good to see. Look at that. That's really what you want to see. A little bit of back tests and a bit of strength. For that line to not resist anymore. This is looking good. Bitcoin is looking quite good. Let's have a look at ETH, BTC. Well, I think ETH BTC is looking good too, even though we're at the lows here. Got some buying tails here on the daily time frame. Okay, so we lost the local val, the value area low. Let me see if there's any changes. So we're still underneath it. It's moved down a little bit. And the local point of control is in the same place. Local value area high is in the same place. So it's still not where it needs to be. right? But we're very close, okay? And actually what I'm seeing here is that we're back above this SFP line, okay? You can zoom in on the local time frame to see where we are. See that pivot there? We're back above it. It looks like we're holding it as support. You can hold this as, if we can hold this white line as support now, then maybe we can head back up to the local value area low and see what happens. Okay, this isn't too bad. I mean, you have something similar going on here as with Bitcoin. This kind of wide megaphone. If we suddenly, you know, go up there, it's a bit wide though. Huh? Then the other thing you've got going on here is an inverse head and shoulders pattern. Don't know if you can see it. It's there. See that? On the weekly time frame, you look at the weekly time frame, we're back above the previous week low. Back above the previous week low. This isn't looking bad at all. If we can get back above the local value area low this week, this is going to look quite good for some sort of reversal. It's not a bad place, and so that's probably why some of the altcoins are going to show strength now. And so what people have to realize is that altcoins all do well when ETH does well against Bitcoin. Yeah, so we're right now in ETH BTC trying to turn around again, and as long as Bitcoin shows strength, then this could be really good for the altcoins. You also need the total market cap to look strong as well, and you can see that's following Bitcoin a little bit, so we could potentially move back up, and then these other ones are also doing something similar. You want USDTD to look weak, and look, what are we seeing on USDT? Again, it came up, and it looks like it came back into the golden pocket. Yeah, see that? So the price of the USDT has come back into the local range golden pocket, had a rejection. So we're just bouncing off resistance and potentially going to head back to the lows of this overall range, potentially. You see that? We've come into the golden pocket. We've come into the value area high of this local range. So actually it could be nice to go to just head back down to the lows of this range. That would be nice. And what I'm seeing here is a little bit of a bearish consolidation right now on USDTD, okay? Because you are making lower highs, you are finding resistance of back tests into key areas. I'm not seeing strength right now on USDTD, and I think what's happening is that this is setting up for the next leg. I have got USDTD on a bump and run pattern, bump and run reversal pattern on a higher time frame at the moment. Okay, so if people look at that, I've done a video on this. This is the lead in here. This is the bump, and as you lose that trend line and you lose this trend line, this is the run. So we've only just started running, and actually on USDTD my target is the overall value area low. Which lands with the golden pocket, and then if we're lucky, and we can get like some kind of Bitcoin blow off top, then I wouldn't be surprised if this went all the way down to where the lead-in begins down here. Let's just see. The timing's all wrong. I'm probably expecting all of this to happen next year. So this is quite good. I think we could be ready to see a mini alt season actually. Let me have a look at Bitcoin dominance. Again, look where it is. This is the range. We're in the highs of the range, and the point of control is in the high of the range. When the point of control is in the high of a range, that's bearish for Bitcoin dominance. So I don't necessarily think it would be, I don't necessarily think this is going to go up. I think probably more likely than not this is going to go down, at least to the value area low of this little range. So we could be seeing potentially, if this breaks down, and like another little, like a mini alt pump here. Okay, that's what I'm seeing right now on Bitcoin dominance. If you think of where we are, we've been in the highs of this local range for a bunch of time, putting in a ton of volume, and look where we are, we're still there. Okay, so it's finding resistance, and the point of control is in the highs here, and the price just isn't really going up. With all of this volume, the price isn't going up. On Bitcoin dominance, we've taken the highs of these candles, we're back down underneath the point of control. So I think we could potentially, over the next week or so, see a little mini alt season, a little mini alt pump. Okay, that would be very nice for all of us. I'll be looking forward to that. So I'm kind of seeing signs of where we could see that. You see here, we've got selling tails in the highs. That's quite bearish to see that, and so that's on the weekly time frame. So I'm not crazy bullish on Bitcoin dominance right now, and I'm thinking that maybe we're going to see a little kind of sell-off back into the altcoins, maybe come back into this kind of area of interest here one more time. All right, and that would coincide really well with ETH BTC showing some strength from the lows, which is where it is. Yeah, it's a good place for ETH BTC to come up, and as long as the total market cap continues to hold and show strength, then we could have a little mini alt season on our hands, and that would be really nice. So we just have to look at altcoins and see which ones could move. Yeah, it's not looking too bad at all. Let me do a sorry, a yawn. Let me do a volume pull on TRVL against BTC as well. Let me just update that. It's good to update these things. I like to update it daily, but since I've done all the other stuff, I'm kind of locked between these two volume nodes. As you can see, we're locked between this lower volume node and this higher volume node right now. That's what it looks like. And I think for continuation, we just need to get, this would be 9 cents. You get back above there, that's 9 cents. And then you're pushing up to the next high volume node. I think with BTC, what people can do is just look at these volume levels, and if you're looking to trade, it'll be good to just trade in between these volume levels. You're going to ping pong between these volume levels. That seems to be the best strategy right now. If you look at every single volume node, you see how the price has been ping-ponging between these volume nodes until it goes to the next one, ping-pongs, that dropped down, but then it went back up, and now we're kind of ping-ponging again. So it's quite an easy way to grind TRVL, scaling in and at the lower ones and scaling out into BTC at the higher ones, and you're still exposed to crypto. You're not losing your crypto exposure by doing that. You don't have to go all in and all out, but it is an easy way to buy and sell at key levels against Bitcoin. And you can obviously see that there's a reaction. All right. On average, you can see there's a move to the upside. But again, my target is that top peak there. That's the one that I'm looking for to take. Looking forward to take that one. That would be an increase in value against Bitcoin of 400%, 4x. But I'm looking to take that pivot. Okay. I think that's our target. That will make a higher high. That will make an all-time high against Bitcoin on this chart. It will anyway. And then we'll have to see what happens. All right. Anyone else? Any questions? Anything? I don't know what people are thinking. Let's go back to Bitcoin quickly. And look. It's showing a little bit of strength. I like that. I'm in a long right now, so I want the price to go up. Perfect. Isn't it good when you're in a long and you're short and the price is moving in your direction? It's pretty exciting. I'm going to aim for the point of control. That's going to be my target. And then I might let's see. Might take a short there. Right. If there are no more questions, I'm going to probably move on. Finish the stream. I look at Binance. Bam, 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 bam. Up, 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 up. See how people are scaling back into Binance coin? The minute they see a bit of strength on Bitcoin. And look at the way this is zigzagging. I had this kind of idea of this just kind of now going up and down like this. So that's quite interesting. What else is there that's interesting? Have a look at RNDR. I don't think I'm going to get an entry down here. Yeah. I don't know if that is the free. Maybe that is it there. It's amazing how it came back into my midpoint of the channel perfectly. Yeah, you see that? So when you have these like log scale channels and you create a good one, you got some really easy places to target. And see how it just came right almost to the dollar. So we are probably seeing some kind of correction here. I don't know what kind of correct. Looks like it's going to be a flat correction of sorts. We have to see. And is that still the free? It could be actually. It could be still the free. 1, 2, 3. I have to sit down and do a proper count. Rio is just powering like there's no tomorrow. Amazing. Hator didn't go down. A lot of support down there, but it didn't go down, it went up. Yeah. Okay. Oh wow, look, injective. Oh, I would love injective to go down to the previous all-time high, if that's possible. That would be really a nice place to long. Take out this low here. Kuji's coming into a nice area to long. After we broke out from this kind of head and shoulders pattern, back into this top channel. It's coming to a nice place, Kuji. I've got to keep an eye on these. There's a lot of good tokens out there. Link is coming back into an SR flip. And my Matic is always looking like strong and then weak, strong and weak. Matic just isn't ready yet. That's the problem. I think Matic and ETH kind of go hand in hand, and that's what's happening right now. The ton coin is looking good. Anyway. All right, I'm gonna end it now. And oh, look at this. This looks good. Optimism is coming into a good area to long. All right, I'm gonna end this now. Have a wonderful day, guys. Thanks for joining me, and then I'll see you.